Well, good afternoon, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live. Hope you're having a great day. Looking forward to our little session together here. Want to bring you a few things that come up on the news over the weekend, and at least my news feed with all the health information. And Kevin, hello. Jen from Cape Breton, how are ya? And Maria, nice to have you on. And Nick from our staff. Mike from Norland. And Annette, how are you? Bonjour. Rita, hello. And Andrea, Niagara Falls. And Cecilia from Sudbury. Okay. Norma, Texas. Betty Lynn. And Diane, Thunder Bay. Ron, how are you? Northern Idaho. How do you like that? Donna, Strathroy. Helen, Helena, Cambridge. Francis, good afternoon from Vaughan. Denise, how are you? Out in Alberta. Jeanette from Kapuskasing, Cary, Nebraska. Evelyn, how is you? Wendy, Markham. Nice to have you on. Wanda from Florida. Cindy, Ottawa. And Marcy from Cranbrook, British Columbia. Anna, sunny Manitoba. Vera, Newfoundland. We go coast to coast, folks. And Linda from New Brunswick. Mara. Jane from Toronto. Susan, Panama. How are you? Kevin. And nice to have, Kevin, I already said hello to you. Rose from Brampton. Denise, Oakville. Mary, Cloudy, Durham. Rhonda, Rhonda. Joanne and Terry, British Columbia. Gertie, how are you? From Burlington. Sherry from Mississauga. Wanda from Virginia. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls. Linda, Pennsylvania. Carol from Kapuskasing. Zian, Ottawa. Good afternoon. And William is saying hi to everyone. And Yolande, how are you? Nancy, Iowa. Okay, John, how are you? Ashley, couple more, and we'll get started today. Okay. Ron says we got them post-workout. Patricia, Burlington. Jen, and Milika from Stouffville. Eric from the Netherlands. Nice to have you on. Bruno, North Bay. Nick, how are you? Nick, not from our staff. Okay, here we go. Okay, so last week we brought you we brought you some studies on exercise, and before I do that, I just want to pontificate for a minute or two on this article that came up, because we got some more good news about exercise. Okay, 3 or 4 studies came out over the weekend. And we're big time believers in vitamin E, aren't we? We really are. Is there anything negative about vitamin E? I don't think so. The real vitamin E, by the way. Okay? Now, but listen to this, okay? The oceans, okay? And this is something when I say to people, we live in a different world, okay? We live in a different world. A lot of good things. But because of the advancement in human technology and chemicals and whatever, listen to this. The oceans are filled with 171 trillion plastic pieces, according to the BBC. 171 trillion. I don't know how they counted. That's a lot. 171 trillion pieces of plastic, okay? So that's one thing. And then another thing that came out, I read an article on the weekend, and Roundup, glyphosate, the chemical found in Roundup, the herbicide, phosphate, it is tied to cancer. And listen to this. When they test people's urine, 80% of the population in the United States have Roundup in their urine, peeing it out. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on those two articles, but it's making the case. It's making the case, guys, you can go wherever you think you want to go. You can run, but you can't hide. I like that. You can run, but you can't hide. You can go to Costa Rica. You can get your own island. You can go anywhere you want. Except that 171 trillion pieces of plastic are in the oceans, no matter where you go, and Roundup is found in 80% of the population of people's urine. So what is the point of it? The point is we live in a different world. 1, you can run, but you can't hide from it. 2, 3, do something about it. Why am I always talking about probiotics? Probiotics will protect you. If you live on this planet like the rest of us, and you're not taking off with Elon Musk anytime soon to go live on another planet, you need to protect yourself. And this is why I'm really big on that. Like, you can eat organic, you can eat non-GMO, you can do whatever you want as far as trying to protect yourself, and I'm not against that. But you can run, but you can't hide. You need to protect your body. And the best thing you can do is probiotic. Now, and the other thing is too, okay? Remember the importance of glutathione, okay? What is glutathione? Repeat. It is Velcro, or Velcro-like in your body. Your body produces it. But you really need to have an empty liver. Okay? You really need to have an empty liver. Your liver and your kidneys, to some extent your lungs, but the big detox organs are your liver. And your liver, when it's empty, will produce an enormous amount of glutathione. Glutathione will Velcro those plastics, the Roundup, other chemicals, heavy metals like mercury, lead, cadmium. Your body is a fighting machine, but you got to help it. And again, you know, it was like when we went through the virus. They just kept talking about, stay away, stay inside, 6 feet, wear a mask, do this, do that. But they didn't talk to you about you're always going to have viruses. You live in a world of viruses and bacteria. When one of the viruses is gone, you'll get another one coming. And the idea is to build yourself up. Build your immune system up. And part of that immune system is your body's ability to detox of chemicals and byproducts. of the world in which we live. So when they tell you the bad news, okay? When they tell you the bad news, remind yourself of the good news. You're taking care of yourself. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. Your body has the ability. It doesn't matter the amount of toxins that you're exposed to. Your body knows what to do. Give it the tools. Okay? How do you empty your liver? Quit eating crappy carbs and you'll empty your liver. It doesn't take long to empty the liver. Let the liver do its job. Okay? Even the kidneys. Kidneys will filter properly. If you give your kidneys the Niagara Falls of your body, water, and you stay off the sugars, your kidneys will work just fine. Amazing what happens. Okay. I just thought I'd bring that to you. Okay. Before we got into 1, 2, got to be 3 or 4 studies on exercise, vitamin E, move, get strong. It's important. Okay? Get strong. The research is so convincing. Okay? Now, I talked to you last week about depression. And you won't hear it really in the mainstream media. But when it comes to depression, exercise, vitamin E, is every bit as effective as SSRIs, medications for depression. Okay? Now, that's important, isn't it? Move. And the best exercise is starting to exercise, if you haven't. But the Martin Clinic philosophy is 3 to 4 days a week, 15 to 20 minutes. Get strong. High intensity, if you can, but get your muscles strong. Here's why. Here's a study that came out. Aging and T cells and skeletal muscle. I'm reading the headlines to you. Keep each other fit during aging. From ScienceDirect.com. This is where I picked it up. It says aging, okay? In aging, okay? Hello? Are you aging? Put your hand up. I am. Okay? You can't avoid it. Okay? You can't avoid it. But when you're aging, listen to this, T cells, you know what T cells are, right? T cells are your primary defense, a huge part of your immune system. They're the Navy SEALs of your immune system. What do Navy SEALs do? They do the tough work. They come out first. They see the enemy and T cells are called into action. Okay? And listen to this study and you break it down. I love it. While you're aging, your T cells are aging. Oh, okay. Does that mean they don't work? No. That doesn't mean they don't work. But I always talk about T cells have, look, you are a human solar panel. I've said this a million times. Okay? You are a human solar panel. Just add sun and water. You're a human solar panel. But your T cells, your Navy SEALs, they have like quadruple the amount of antennas looking for the sun. We know that. So that's really important, isn't it? Viderma, vitamin D. Oh, the war on vitamin D that's going on. Terrible. Why should I be surprised by that war, by the way, on vitamin D? Shouldn't be surprised. Vitamin D is making waves. And you watch the pushback from the big pharma. They don't like it. And they got all the money in the world. And they'll push back against vitamin D. It's important, guys, that you know the sort of the news behind the news. Why is that? Why would anybody be so concerned about vitamin D? It's so good for you. Why would anybody, poo-poo that? Well, you guys know the answer to that. Now, okay, what they're finding out too about T cells is that your muscles, okay, your skeletal muscles and the strength of your muscles, the opposite of sarcopenia, which is muscle wasting. A lot of people in the world have muscle wasting. They don't have muscle. They're not strong. And the ramifications of that are legion. But this study is saying when your muscles, as you age, are strong, you got strength, you got grip strength, you can get yourself out of a chair, you're strong, stronger. They work together. Your muscles and your T cells keep each other fit during aging. Isn't that incredible? Guys, think of the significance of that. Think of the significance of that. That your muscles help your T cells, help your immune system as they age. They keep each other fit. I love that. Man, I just about blew me away when I read that study on aging. Okay, now, let me give you a few more. Okay, let me give you a few more. Muscle contraction, muscle strength decreases your risk of breast cancer, ladies. This I found in the Frontiers of Physiology, coming out of Texas A&M. It says that when you are strong, ladies, get strong, because it suppresses cancer cells in breast tissue. Ladies, breast cancer. Breast cancer, it's a huge problem. It has been for a long time, but it's worse today than ever. We're not getting better with breast cancer. It makes me angry. With all the money we support the Cancer Society, the Breast Cancer Foundation, we haven't even made a dent. Well, it's gotten worse. And we don't talk about prevention. We talk about detection. Okay, I'm not against detection. But we're not talking prevention. And one of the ways to prevent, and this is what they're saying in this study, in the Frontiers of Physiology, they're saying that ladies, if you are strong, Ladies, if you work out, your risk of breast cancer goes down. And even if there's cancer cells, the immune system, when you're stronger, fights those existing cancer cells in breast cancer. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I don't think it's just breast cancer. I think it's all cancers. And for men that are listening, going, Dr. Martin, he's just talking about the ladies. No, I'm not. I'm talking to you men because I've always said this. You go back 50 years with me, and here's what I've said. Breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men are two identical cancers. They're identical. They're hormone driven. It's estrogen, too much estrogen. Okay? Too much estrogen. We talked about all that plastic in the oceans. 171 trillion pieces of plastic in the oceans. Well, plastic to your body, it thinks it's a chemical, but your body thinks that's estrogen. All these things, chemicals, sprays, cleaners, fresheners, you name it. Your body thinks it's estrogen. We live in an estrogen crazy world. Okay? So you're not going to get away from that. You can't get away from it. I like that. You can run, but you can't hide. But listen, Linda, listen. Block estrogen. Men, prostate cancer, same cancer, just in a different location. Ladies get breast, men get prostate. 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7 women in their lifetime will get breast cancer. 1 out of 4 men after the age of 50, and I bet you it's worse than that now, will get prostate cancer. But it doesn't have to be deadly. First of all, do everything you can, build your immune system, get strong, muscle contraction, decrease in breast cancer. Men, muscle contraction, decrease in prostate cancer. Get strong. Block estrogen. Block it. Okay, as much as you can. Okay, let me just see. I think there was one more. Yes, there is. Another one on vitamin E. I've got some good studies I want to go over this week with you. Here's the headline. I put the headline in, okay? The brain loves the gym. Okay? Your brain loves the gym. And this is a great article that looks at all the research. And we talked about a little bit about this last week, but we'll just repeat it because this was in a separate article. The brain loves the gym. Your brain loves the gym. Now, if you work out, you have a 30% less likelihood of ever getting depressed. Now, we already talked about that. Treatment for depression should include exercise. There's no doubt about it because they're showing it to be as effective as medication, right? But they're showing in studies that you get a 30% decrease in the risk of depression if you work out, so that you never get depressed. Go to the gym, or you know what I mean by that. You don't have to have a gym or membership. If you do, good for you. You can have a gym at home. Okay? You can walk. But I want you to get strong. I'm really big on strength. Okay? as we get older. They talk about that all the time. Grip strength, ability to get off the floor even. This will help your balance and helps everything. 30% decrease in depression, 40% increase in brain repair. Guys, your brain, let me just talk a bit for a second here about your organs, okay? And your brain being obviously a very important organ, but I'm talking about, okay, let's do brain, let's do your eyes, and let's do your heart. I want to connect these three things. What are you talking about? I want to connect them. Okay. What do I mean by that? Guys, it's all about blood supply. Okay? It's about blood supply. I talked to a fella this morning that had a stroke. Okay? And he's recovering fairly well. He said to me that he felt very fortunate because where he had the stroke was in the back part of his brain and not the front part that could have affected his speech and his, all of that was affected at first, but he's recovered fairly well. And when he was talking to me, I was thinking blood vessels, brain, okay? Guys, blood vessels are really important. But you know what's even more important? It's the connection between your arteries and your veins. There's a little wee blood vessel called the capillary. Now, I don't have a lot of hair, so I don't like to take out any hair. But if I was to pull on one of my little hairs up here, okay? It's great. No, okay? Now, I got a little hair here. You can't even see it. That's what a capillary looks like. It's actually a little smaller than that. Okay? A capillary, your red blood cells, to get through a capillary, you know what they have to do? They have to line up one by one. They just cannot get in there. But I've always was fascinated with capillaries when I first learned about them. And because one of the things I talk to you about is looking into the eye. I was always fascinated by looking into the eye, okay? And because, it's all blood work. It's all blood vessels. It's all little highways and byways in there. But what's really important in your brain, in your eyes, and your heart are capillaries. Because people think big blockages, okay, in the abdominal aorta or the arteries on the coronary arteries and all this and that. But it starts with capillaries. And you need your capillaries to work, not to leak. And exercise helps capillaries. They help your brain capillaries, they help your eyeball capillaries, and they help your heart capillaries. And let's keep going. They help your kidneys. The blood supply, guys, blood supply. And this is what, like when you get stronger, you're helping your capillaries. They've shown that. Let me just show you a study here. Maybe I'll sort of connect it. Okay. 90% of your brain, 90% of your brain is composed of tiny capillaries. Think of hair. 90%. You think that's important? And they bring your oxygen and your nutrients. And a stroke, of course, just it wipes that out. But your eyes are the same. Your kidneys are the same. Your heart is the same. blood vessels, little wee ones. And guys, this is why I talk about sugar all the time. Sugar is so destructive to those capillaries. Sugar is so destructive to those capillaries that you have an organ dedicated to getting sugar out of your blood vessels, especially out of those connectors, the capillaries. Can't have sugar in there. It damages them. That's what starts the damage, is those connectors, those little hair-like blood vessels. You can't even see them. They're so tiny. Are they important or what? Yeah, and exercise helps big time. Here's another thing, okay? And let me close with this, okay? Because I really, and maybe I'll bring you a little bit more of it because it's actually a great study. High levels of DHA help those capillaries, especially in the brain. Okay, this is a study. I'll pontificate on it and talk more about it because I want to break it down a little bit more in the when it comes to your capillaries. 90% of your brain is made up of those blood vessels. Your blood vessels, guys, are very, very important, and they are connected to your skeletal muscles. You want to work out. I'm telling you, vitamin E, sun, steak, and steel. Okay? Sun, steak, and steel, and sleep. Coming to a theater near you very soon. Okay. Guys, we love you dearly, sincerely, and everything else, Lee. Okay? We really do. And we got a great week lined up, so we'll talk to you soon.